Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we are going to be investigating something spooky that happens at the giant face in the cliff or face on the mountainside in Red Dead Redemption 2. So this is actually something that we have covered before here on the channel, and if you want a full, in-depth, dedicated video to the face on the cliff, I'll leave a link to that in the description. Well, today we're going to be talking about something spooky that happens if you do a specific set of actions and then return. Now, I believe this was first discovered by a user on the Red Dead Mystery subreddit, I Love Fraggle Rock. I'll leave a link to that post in the description. So essentially what you need to do is a couple-step process in order for this to happen. Now, before we dive into that process, I want you guys to take a very close look at the face on the cliff right now. You can see that for the most part, it is pretty much completed. Aside from the scaffolding and some of like the tools like pickaxes and whatnot, the face itself is essentially complete. You can see the nose and the mouth and the two eyes and, the face structure. Everything about it looks for the most part done. But that's important to note there, that if you go there normally, everything will be intact. Now, here's what you need to do in order to prompt this mysterious change. The first thing you need to do is interact with the face on the cliff and inspect the sculpture. And what this will do is actually make a sketch in your notebook. So it'll be a little bit different if you go as Arthur or John, although it shouldn't matter. Now from there, once you have sketched the prompt, once you have inspected the sculpture, now it's marked on your map, what you need to do is go down one level and actually shoot the rope holding the corpse of the sculptor. And what you're going to need to do is loot the body for a letter. Now, I'm not sure if you have to read the letter. I did just to be safe. And once you've done that, what you want to do next is to save the game and then exit the game fully and reload. So that's exactly what I did. I saved, I exited the game. I even went as far as closing down my application all the way, and then I reloaded. And when I reloaded, I came back in and something mysterious had happened to the face of the mountain. Parts of it had been destroyed. And this doesn't look as if it's a glitch. It looks as if this was done intentionally. It looks as if the face on the cliff is scripted to be destroyed, like it has progression. However, as we discovered in my first video talking about the face on the cliff, if you were to just visit here regularly and throw dynamite or fire bottles at it, you won't be able to destroy it. So it seems as if this face on the cliff was supposed to have some sort of time progression. Like if you visited in chapter 1 or 2 or 3, it would be less complete than if you visited at the end of the game. Or maybe it was supposed to change from the main chapters in 1899 to the epilogue in 1907. I don't think we'll really know, but there are some huge differences. Like, for example, the right eye has not been sculpted. The nose is incomplete. The face structure itself is not symmetrical or smooth at all. The mouth is not there. Now, what's weird is there's no other signs of any other work happening here. Everything else is the exact same. Obviously, the sculptor didn't work on it anymore because it looks like he ended up killing himself and he left that note for us, and that's about it. So I don't know what is going on here. Again, to me, what I think this means is it was likely cut content that Rockstar had for this, that this was supposed to be a dynamic event, that we would see it develop over time, but I guess eventually they decided to scrap that idea. And instead, when you just visit normally, it's only supposed to have one stage. However, for whatever reason, replicating these steps makes, a progression system happen. Now, a pretty good theory that a lot of people are talking about here is that the lady who was actually mentioned in the document came back and destroyed the face on the mountain. So in order for that to make sense, we need to talk about the actual letter itself. So let's dive into that right now, because if you don't read that, it's not going to make sense at all. So the letter is note from the sculptor. Whoever finds this, I am sorry. I was worthless in life, and now I am even more so in my death. I gave my life to my art to create a monument to the one that I loved, but in doing so, I lost her. Great art moves very slowly, but the heart moves very quickly. Now I look on her face and I see that terrible French cad, that scribbler, that second-rate smear of the colors, that crude little goat. I have been a fool. I will die next to my monument to foolishness. So that takes a little bit of explaining. The sculptor is talking about his wife or his lover, fiance, girlfriend, whatever the case is, having an affair with a French artist. That French artist is Charles Chatelet. We know that because he's the only prominent French artist in the game. And we also know that Charles Chatelet, he basically paints photos of naked people that he has like intimate relationships with. And a lot of times that's women. And as we've seen throughout the game, many of the women in which he has these paintings done for are married or in relationships themselves. So it looks like the poor sculptor fell to the same fate that a lot of other men did, and that Charles Chatelet stole his woman. So maybe when the wife found out that her husband, the sculptor, had, created this monument for her, she either was angry or horrified or embarrassed and tried to destroy it so no one would recognize it as her. Because this started to get national publicity. There's even a newspaper article written about this where it talks about how a face is being created on the mountain. So in the New Hanover Gazette number 30, you can find a newspaper article titled "A Massive Motif," and it is Cliff Sculptor in Grizzlies. And it says, wayfarers in the Grizzlies have reported a massive cliff face sculpture is underway, courtesy of a yet unknown artist, undertaken by a lone man toiling with a hammer and chisel, but rarely seen. He is suspended by hemp rope and works in the beating sun to accomplish his artistic vision of carving a face into a prominent rock face. The project began several weeks ago, according to travelers, who say the man has undertaken it as an homage to his beloved wife. So again, people are starting to recognize that this face on the cliff could be her. So I think that is a sound and probable theory that she would want to get rid of it because it's about her after all, and there's a tragic suicide story that goes along with it. So that's something to keep in mind right there. Now, a couple of other theories as well. You guys remember the Reverend in Strawberry, that guy that's like preaching just random nonsense? Well, one of the lines he talks about is that there's a one-eyed being that watches over all. Well, as you guys know, in this destroyed version of the face on the cliff, he only has one eye, or I should say the cliff only has one eye. So is that what the Reverend in Strawberry is talking about? That seems a little bit far-fetched, but who knows? A lot of people also think this might be the third meteorite, that the third meteorite crashed into this face on the cliff, and that is why it looks the way it is. And I don't know how big this meteorite would have been. You would think if it was huge that it would have destroyed much more than it did. And if it was small, how would it do things so uniformly, like only affecting the right side of the face and not the left side? So I don't know if that answers really any of the questions here. A couple of things that you guys might be wondering about. This is definitely not a glitch. It is an intended effect programmed into the game, and it also has nothing to do with game updates. Some people have tested this on older updated versions of the game, and it still happens. So again, something interesting to keep in mind right there. Now, this effect definitely causes some weird things to happen at this place. One of the things I ultimately tried was seeing if I could destroy the face on the cliff a little bit more. And in doing so, I started throwing like tomahawks and actually shooting at the cliff. And by doing so, something weird was happening. When I would shoot at the left eye, the only one that's still there, the chest in front of us would disappear. Like, it wouldn't disappear for long, really for like a second, but it would disappear. And only if you shot at the center of the eye would it disappear. So is that a glitch? Is that intentional? Does that mean anything? I don't know. That's just one of the few things I discovered by doing some quick experimenting at this site. And that's why I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below, because we can try multiple different experiments here, and you can also tell me what you think happened. Does it have anything to do with the sculptor? Does it have something to do with a more supernatural cause like the meteorite? Again, let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more on this in the comments down below, or you can reach out to me on my Facebook page. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. Let me know what you think of this weird, mysterious change to the face on the cliff. And do you think there is a deeper, overall, bigger mystery that we need to solve here? But anyways, that's all the info that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating on this video. That'd be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.